Hello, this is Jared playing Oxygen Not Included. I'm doing a rewind of a couple cycles from last time. We're at the point where water is not making its way into the base, so very important fix right here to start off with. Why is that not getting through though? Okay, there we go. Alright, so that's going through. Hopefully it's going to provide water, so that we'll have water for washrooms, electrolyzers, and everything else. The other thing that was going severely wrong was some damage here from some heat. So first of all, making sure we've got atmo suits in the zone, and we've got our cooling line going down. What I've been aiming to do is cool off this hot igneous rock. So we've got 2 steam turbines running around. Gotta watch, make sure these dupes don't go through here, otherwise they could be taking off their suit. But I'm hoping this is going to be a temporary little area once temperatures can go down. The other thing that is also going wrong is stress with the Bionic dupes specifically. So what I did there is actually made a little bit more break time and 6 hours of sleep for each of the Bionic dupes. We'll see if that helps. Dupes are making a mess. That's definitely not helping. Having liquid on the floor, this is probably one of the bigger things. I think Cedric had mentioned that keeping the floors dry or the Bionic dupes dry might be very useful. And at the end of the last episode, I had to cycle back a few times, but another thing, it'd be really nice if we could get some carpeted tiles where these guys are sleeping. So I'll put that there. For both the Bionic dupes and regular dupes as well, might as well. And what I'm going to be experimenting with today is seeing if recreational building is going to help the stress level of the Bionic dupes quite high. Only with Bionic dupes. Normal dupes, not really a problem. Let's go check. Oh, we still have our conductor panels that need to be installed. One more pipe there, and our cooling line should be running. Cooling line currently not going. Need someone to install pipe. There we are. Okay, so that should keep this area cool. It was getting way too hot. In fact, I think we had some injuries down there. So now we prevented that. Let's get back to doing some mopping up. Make sure as much of the floor is dry. Oh. Yeah, motherboard, not happy at all. Let's look at research. Do I have all the recreational buildings? I think I've got most of them if I want to start experimenting with... vertical wind tunnel. We'll start the research process for that. At the same time, we'll do a little bit of decorating since we are experimenting with Bionic dupes. Why don't we get one of the Bionic dupes to do some decorating? So I don't have any, but I'll make some master artwork boosters. Make 6 of these. And yeah, motherboard has pretty much had it. Someone's got to change their batteries. So with that, let's get a plan together to get some recreational buildings so that motherboard and other Bionic dupes can chill a little bit more. Just before we get to the recreational buildings themselves, by the way, I plan to put those buildings around here. Just rerouting some water to go above this area. That's going into some of our farm area. Also getting rid of removing these atmo suits down. This is going to be a spot just specifically for going down to this cool area. And my heavy watt wire line that's going to go through the recreational buildings. Well, we don't want that, so instead having that go up through here instead. And clearing out the area underneath the recreational buildings. It's going to be more the support area. Might be a little bit dangerous. I think we've got a dupe stuck here temporarily. Just until this tile is created. There we go. Okay, so with that wire done, I'm going to now take this out, as well as this. And just extending this just to make it easier to get some transformers around afterwards. Double check to make sure temperature here. Oh, it is very uncomfortable, though. Dupes are wearing Atmos suits when they go through here. Cooling system. What happened here? Did that break? Okay, not sure what happened there. Okay, cooling line running. Alright, so with all that, I think we can put in our first recreational buildings up here. So here's what we got going on. I'm putting in a jukebox, as well as an arcade cabinet, 2 party line phones, and 2 mechanical surfboards. Surfboards are going to need a little bit of spot underneath it to collect and pump up water. A little bit of decoration. Want it to look really nice in here, so we get some metal tiles made out of gold. And a dupe down. Okay, so and scalding. Great. How did Buffer get down there without putting on an atmosphere, actually? Okay. Oh, and yeah, let's mop. We gotta keep the area dry. For these Bionic dupes in particular. So we've got water in our pipes, at least for that. The washroom and that. Maybe I will go choose one of our dupes. Bionic dupes in particular. Maybe array. Do all our decorating. So, oh, no. That's not good. That's not good. Okay, we definitely need to fix that. Maybe make that out of steel pointing right there. Of course, I don't want anyone walking in the meantime. So at the same time, maybe try to mop that up. Alright, so hopefully that is going to fix that. There's our arcade and jukebox and all our equipment. And there is Ray doing some artwork very quickly. Awesome. Okay, well, let's get on to the next step. So doing some power planning down here, I've got a number of transformers. One transformer is just going to feed this guy here because that is almost 1,000. That's how much the transformer can output. Double transformer on this side is going to give the power to the arcade, the phones, and the pumps, and then a single transformer to power up to these mechanical surfboards. And I've got a water storage area down here going in. Yeah, looks like, just give that a second to finish. There we go. Okay, seal that back up. And we can start to dump in some water in here. Okay, do disconnection right there and there. Okay, so those are ready to go. I think that is enough water. So I'll disconnect that right there. Get rid of that old piping. I think that's it, pretty much, for these buildings. We'll move on to the next step then. So just before we move on, putting in some drywall in here. While those dupes work on that, that's going to give me time to concentrate on this important setup. I want to block these two tiles off. On first this side, and then over on this side. I also want to make sure that we get some wood. That's going to be one of our, if we want some of the recreational buildings, we'll eventually need that. So we've got wood over here. I can just say to bring that over. There is our drywalling ready to go. With some of these saunas I'm going to be building, I don't want oxygen to make its way in, so we're going to reroute this oxygen pipeline to go around. Okay, with that, let's see if we can get a design in here to get some steam in some saunas. I'm going to start from the top down. Top part is actually really easy. You just want to have a hot tub and 2 saunas. We got some nice gold tiles and some carpeted tiles. Make a room out of this little spot. Also doing some rerouting the power to go down, because this is where we need to make sure we get some hot water into our hot tub and very hot steam into the sauna down here. So we're going to go up and around. Oh, I'm not liking this. Dupes can kind of go in 2 different directions. Need to have a divider. Put that right there. There we go. We can get this heavy wire to go around like this. Can get rid of that middle section, making space for our construction. Just 2 saunas left. It's probably because the wood is so far away. There is enough wood. Oh yeah, there we go. And now comes the very interesting part. How the heck am I going to provide the steam and hot water for these buildings? What we got going on next is a little bit of insulation around here. So we've got some ceramic insulated tiles going around Also want to make a little bit of aluminum and steel, because we're going to create some heat by having a thermo aqua tuner running down here, and I don't have enough steel just yet for that. I was going to actually remove all this stuff by getting stuff loaded into storage bins, but now that I think about it, I can just destroy this. Have stuff fall down instead. Okay, maybe I'm missing the opportunity of some of that, but that's fine. But essentially just want to clear this area, get the insulation around it. Let's get some steel. Let's get a little bit of aluminum. Having the dupe over here, transport some of the aluminum that's been found on this asteroid. And now I'm able to make our aqua tuner, so I'll design the inside of this area. Just cranking out a few pieces of aluminum ore. Just putting in the design for underneath the tub. I'm going to have a liquid reservoir to pump in water, or keep water cycling around. We're going to be taking the temperature. I'm going to be ultimately stealing some of the heat from this system. And then I realized, oh, I want to also have a gas reservoir, and a gas reservoir is massive compared to all this. So I actually need to expand this a little bit. First of all, I'm going to take this power transformer, move it down. We're going to add some insulation up here, and this area will all be part of our system for making steam and ultimately heating up our tub. We've got oh, nuts. That was not intended to happen. Make sure we address this right now. Actually, we're getting rid of that altogether. This is the location of our gas reservoir, making that out of steel, insulating all around it. Now I want to make a wall here, but I can't actually put it in until this is all constructed first. But we're going to have a pipe that goes all around this aluminum tiling. So we want to get this area really hot, and I want to be able to control that with the door that opens and closes. So when the door is open, it creates a vacuum, Prevents any heat that's going to be from here going in. Otherwise, heat will be added in. And I was debating how to take the temperature. I think instead of looking at the temperature in the liquid, we'll just look at the temperature in the actual room itself. And we'll dump some water in this location. Put in actually one of those. Temporarily put in some water from our water line. And down in the zone, I have discovered a fatal flaw. Not just the fact that those were made out of lead, but I have an insulator right here, which is allowing lots of heat to escape. So I'm going to take a little break, try to fix this. It's putting in 2 Amusu docks, 3 rather. This time not made out of lead. Let's try to put in some suits, get these charged up. And an all-important insulated tile to be put in right here. Maybe an additional one down. Oh, careful, careful, careful. Okay, was there anywhere else? We've got Abyssalite covering all the other spots. Material's been provided. Someone just needs to go down to build. Alright, less concerned about that tile, but we'll just dig in there to let that complete. And then we can get back to it. I think that is enough liquid. Where are we at? Over almost at 700. Yeah, let's cut the water. And move on to the next part. So the next part of it is to have another aluminum tile right there. Let's see, make the door. Make sure steel. Open and close depending on whether we want heat or not. Make sure that gets reconnected. We've got a bunch. Let's just check that's water. Okay, good. Perfect. So that's going to start to cycle through like this, in and out of that. We just need to add heat as needed. Now we'll work on our sauna heating system. Now we've got our aqua tuner going in. We're going to have that connect in and out of the cooling line. It's going around the base. We're going to do 2 checks to make sure it either runs or not. First of all, we want to make sure that the temperature is not too hot up here. And we want to make sure the water that's going in is not too cold such that it freezes. Put this wall in here, and as soon as this is in place, I'll adjust the temperature on this thermosensor. Actually, we can start the vacuum process. That didn't quite work. There we go. We want to get a vacuum up in here. Mostly just so that we don't leak the heat that's going to be up here going up. The vacuum that'll protect that from happening. Alright, so if the temperature is at below 40, the door's going to close, take some heat from here, here to here. and heat that water up. At least that's a plan. We'll see how this goes when it's all done. Now, this is the part that I really have to make sure I get right. I want to get a system that stores steam in here. Lets that cycle through, so gives these a chance to potentially collect some steam. If not, it's going to push it back in here, taking in some heat every time. Going through some metal tiles. Maybe even putting in a few more of those right there just for good measure. We're going to put a pump right there. I don't have enough steel. Maybe I do now. Okay, I do. So the pump is going to go right there. It's going to be controlled by this, determining whether we actually need steam or not. So I'll set 2020. Realizing I don't have a place to actually dump liquid just yet. Can't see why putting that right there would be a problem. Okay, we're a little bit low in ceramic. Doesn't have to be ceramic though. Maybe this rock would be okay. Maybe I'll do... Whoops. I'll do the part with the ceramic where I can't change later on. Go. Just one more pipe, guys. Alright, this might be an indication I just need more ceramic. So, you know what? Let's just pop a few of those. And put some igneous rock in instead. There we go. The chance of forgetting something critical inside here is probably pretty great, but I'm going to close this up. Give it a test anyways. We've got two transformers that are going to feed power to both this pump and that thermoaquid tuner. Close this up. We'll start dumping in some water. Maybe just do this. Alright, and let's make sure that the water here is at least above 15 degrees. Oh, hold on. And we want to create a vacuum. Good. All right, have that system set up so we can start that process while we're dumping in some water. So we've got some liquid in here. We've got a vacuum in this spot. Cooling liquid is going in. So again, checking to make sure that's 15. Up here, if it's 250 or below, this thing keeps running. Maybe even 200 will be enough, because I just realized we've been making stuff out of steel. But yeah, we'll let that get warmed up. Maybe work on some a different recreational building. This is the area I'm going to put in our wind machine. Don't want to have the heavy wire area go in, or a line go in front, so we're going to put that in the back. Dig out some space here for construction at the same time. And just monitor the setup, make sure it is running fine. Temperature slowly making its way up. Want to make sure that this pump is disabled until the steam is actually hot enough. And I don't know if, oh yeah, just make sure we get some ladders going across. Just a few more pieces. And we can take that down now. So here is the plan for the vertical wind tunnel. So I know lots of air is going to go up in here, kind of enclose this. The idea that that'll hopefully not impact air in the surrounding area. We'll just hopefully get this process of air going up, down, and around, while the dupes get to have some fun inside. Trying to minimize the amount of power connection there, but lots of decoration. Firefall ladder to get up and down to our vertical wind tunnel. Actually might need some degree of vent or ability to get out carbon dioxide over time. And I think we're having issues because we technically need to get up here temporarily, at least. Technically filling in the top area, even though that's not part of the recreational room. I think everything is set for a vertical wind tunnel to run. Just a little bit more decorating there by Ray. Ray not taking any time at all to finish up with that. Try having that door open, see if it's going to impact too much. Make it easy for the dupes getting in and out here when they want to have some fun. There's Doc floating away. Cupcake does not look like they're having fun. While waiting for this to heat up, I decided to do some tiling here in my nature reserve, and I realized I no longer have a nature reserve because this wild plant has disappeared. Probably because that liquid stayed on that for far too long. So what I'm going to do, first mop this up, close this area off, bring in a pip, relocate that pip down here, fill that in with a tile, make sure we get a seed, That dropped off right there. And see if this pit will do planting for us. Nope. Door that I did not see. Did you plant anything? I can't quite tell. We don't have a nature reserve. No, I don't think you did. Starting to get a little bit of steam. It's not the only place that you could plant something, Pip, for us. Just take your time. So we'll try bringing in another one. While waiting for the Pip, decided to do an upgrade to the decoration value for our eating area. I think we're going to be done by the time we're still waiting for our Pip to plant. Wondering, is that a height thing? Maybe that height is twice. Might need a brayer seed. Okay, one of these. Locate that down here. Take this one away. Maybe the Pip would work with that. So I seem to be getting no luck with Oh. Something did get planted. Okay, never mind. Not where I had expected. Actually, that's kind of nice. Because now that means I no longer depend on this particular odd little section right there. So we can get rid of this, replace this with a door. But let's now finish off with two things. First of all, let's test this system out. We've got above 150. So if I were to, instead, we don't want that steam to go down. Let's make sure we correct this. Go up instead. Put in the automation line. What have I done wrong here? Let's see. Always nervous when I'm working with steam, especially when you're going to take it up like this, where it might turn back the water in the pipes, which we don't want to see. Is it able to make it through? So going in at 150, obviously loading into the first sauna. Can it make it to the second sauna? Takes a good amount of steam to fill one of these things, doesn't it? Okay, loading into the second sauna now. And what I want to see is this not stop. I don't want to see steam stop here, so this is the idea. Slow it down just a second. So it goes in at 163, comes, actually doesn't really change that temperature. But the fact that it doesn't stay there means it's not going to break into pipes. It's going to load into this guy. When this guy gets filled up, I think I had it set at 20%. That will tell the pump to turn off, and it will continue to cycle. That steam's going to go through radiant pipes through this, so it'll continue to heat up. This aqua tuner will make sure things stay nice and warm. And I guess we'll just have to wait for one of the dupes to go use this sauna and see what they think of it. Just giving Shift a really long break. Just curious if they'll go from recreational building to eventually the sauna. Actually, I'm curious, will Bionic dupes use the sauna? Because it's a little wet in there, but maybe steam's alright. After they're done chatting. They're going over here. Okay, so they can use the vertical wind tunnel. Wouldn't see why Bionic dupe couldn't do that. They are a little bit injured. Okay, they can dance. Oh, that's interesting. They went to the wind tunnel a second time. Wouldn't expect that, but there it is. Sorry if this is causing you a headache. Come on, Shift. Alright, now, arcade. Oh, and they're surf. I was wondering if they could use this, because are they getting wet? I guess if they're surfing well, they should be staying dry. Changing your battery. Always important. What about the sauna? What about the sun? Oh, going back to doing this. I wonder if I should have provided light access in here. Oh, well. Taking in some oxygen, as Bionic dupes do on their break. Jumping up and down. Okay. Ah, here we go. All right. And finally, Bionic dupe hitting the sauna. I guess another question is, will they use the hot tub? That one I'm assuming not. I could be wrong. Where are they on their schedule? Still lots of time. Mingling. I'm thinking they are not users of the hot tub. Let me just take one of the regular dupes and make sure the hot tub is actually usable. Who would be good for that? Will be... Oh no, or I guess Doc. Yeah, Rock is on the other asteroid. Will Doc find their way to the hot tub? Just to validate that's actually working. But yeah, this water is able to get warm, because if it wasn't warm enough, this door would close and would take the heat from here and transfer it over. And I'll just wait around until I see Doc or another dupe use the hot tub. I don't normally build recreational buildings, and I'm seeing a big problem with the hot tub. As water is filled up, you can see the temperature drops. This is making me think I probably should have built this in a warm area. In an area that I intend to have warm, which is not really how I designed this particular location. I would have insulated around that. Anyway, that may be just a note for next time. But status is normal. But no one is going there. Not Shift. And I've been adding some really long breaks. So kind of confused what might be going on. Now I'm just curious. Does light affect recreational buildings? I don't think I've ever tested that. We're going to throw this in. Might test that at the end. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to get lighting in here if I want to have this set up, but let's try nonetheless. I think I'm going to have this go by having something right there. Now, how do I shine light in, I guess is the question. Do this, will that work? Need to put in a tile right there, though. Ideally, automation line between there to there. And a little bit of power Just connect into our system from the kitchen. Seems to be a little bit of a delay delivering lead. Maybe I should have collected more. Here we go. Okay, curious. We're not actually picking up the dupes when they're in there, even though they're on this. I assumed that they would have been sensed right there. Apparently not. Okay, so yeah, I'm scanning this whole area. We're getting nothing. Well, this just makes me curious then. How would I have done this? Maybe try this. I'll try that. Let's try down there. And we've got a massive amount of hydrogen that is, because this was broken, I had to refix that. Hopefully our hydrogen situation goes under control, because it's pretty bad right now. Things have gone crazy. Alright, let's see if I can figure this out while we're on the topic of recreational buildings. But curiously, still no hot tub usage from anyone. And it looks like this duplicate sensor is picking up the dupe. Very strange, because this recreational building, if you hover over it, usually the way this works, oh, I've got the wrong one, is wherever the mouse is hovering, that's when it considers the dupe. So right at that point right there, but that's not how this logic works in this particular case. Anyway, that's a little bit different, not a building I typically make. I'm just going to finish off with two things. First, I'm going to see if I can force someone to go in the hot tub. And then I think I'm ready to do my overall assessment of Bionic duplicates. I'm wondering if our excessive hydrogen is coming in from these guys. I think I'm going to stop feeding them. I also have a second hydrogen pump up here. And I'm thinking the problem came with the fact that we got non-hydrogen into this pump. So just to discourage that from happening, I'll put a little spot there. Still technically feeding these guys. We'll drop that cold out. Oh, I never actually connected this. Okay, that was a bit of a mistake, I think. Oh no, that's fine. Yeah, no, not good. And plug this guy in. There we go. So two of those. We'll see before I don't want to leave it on a situation where I've got this so much hydrogen. I had no idea that was actually that bad. But let's get back to the hot tubs. Oh my goodness, that's so bad. So I may have found a flaw, not the reason why the dupes aren't using the hot tub, but I see that this water probably expanded to a bit of steam in here, probably because this door temporarily closed for a bit. In fact, let's see if I were to bump that up to 50. That should prevent or get that door to close. And yeah, this metal tile is getting way too hot. The temperature gauge is way over here, so it's not able to shut the door. This is not a good setup. This is not a good design. In order to fix things for the short, well, that's just going to make that water eventually go out. Let's see if we can get that to go in. We cannot. Why? Oh, it's going to break anyways. Yeah, bad choice here. Let's just see if I can do this instead. But yeah, no, definitely a little bit of a change needed there. So after doing a little bit of research, apparently duplicants only use the hot tub if they're a little bit stressed. Motherboard is actually at 1% stress. I was going to trap a dupe over here and get them wet and force them to stay in there. But maybe since motherboard is just, well, it depends on what, if there's a certain level. Maybe 1% is not enough. Motherboard, let's get you to go on break. Looking for power banks. Taking in some oxygen. They're probably already de-stressed by the time... Okay, never mind. Let's dump some water in here. That is going to be enough. Close this area off so we can control access. Let's go find shift. And stress them the heck out. Bionic duplicants do not like staining liquid. Shift at 5% stress. And I'll be back. Oh, yeah, 17%. I don't think this is going to take too long. But I'll be back when they're more stressed. Shift very much not enjoying being in the wet room. Also, very curious to test out whether light affects recreational buildings. So we'll set up a test area for that. We're at 50% stress. That must be enough for shift. Let's check their schedule. I think I have them all on break. Pretty much. Let's just kind of complete this. Can we see if shift will go to the hot tub in this case? Alright, so obviously priority on power. They don't have that, they're not going to live, so that makes sense. Follow cam. Doing a little bit of a call. And just wandering around. So yeah, I would say Bionic dupes don't use the hot tub. Maybe I will just end up with stressing out these guys. Actually, let's cut the power for now. I'll go to this test and I'll come back to the hot tub for normal dupes in a second. Not sure how this is going to work, but these dupes are on break. Array, what are you doing? Overjoyed. Bite, I'm going to wait for you to consume some oxygen, because I want you to both use the phone. Right now, there's no power. So let Bite take in some... Okay, Array, you're going to do the same thing. Good. Alright, love the dance, Array. Okay, so let's provide some power and see if we can get these guys to use the phone at the same time. Ray will not pick up. Maybe because they're overjoyed. Bite's excited about it. I'm not. Okay, let's get another pair of dupes in here instead. So here is the test. Let's power these phones up. Cupcake Sprout. Cupcake Sprout. You want to pick up? There we go, Cake. So Cupcake is started just maybe a second or so before Sprout. The question is, does having light access allow them to interact with the recreational building a little bit quicker? It's hard to tell. Yeah, I'm going to say yeah. Just, I mean, it's only slight bonus, but I would say it looks like that is the case. Okay, enough of that. Might as well just provide light access anyways. Oh yeah, normal dupes in a hot tub, if not bionic. Well, I would say things are absolutely out of control at this point. Had two dupes died, or lack of food being an issue. Possibly because I didn't automate the meat production here. But yeah, not enough food. because of the meat situation. I was attending to other things, including the recreational buildings, to try to keep our bionic dupes happy. But I think just before I leave and talk about the overall thoughts on bionic dupes, I'm going to stress Muscles out and see if they can use the hot tub. I think Muscles has had it. Their stress is above 25%. If I go to the schedule for them, they're on break. Let's see if they get down to the hot tub. Things may not be going well, but I did see Muscles pop into the hot tub. Alright, well, I think this place is an absolute mess. I think I've got to start over again, but I do want to leave you with my overall thoughts with bionic dupes. And they're not that great and overall. I kind of don't like the fact that you gotta reset them with right now I've just got one of the dupes that can decorate really well, but now that I don't need to decorate, I have to go and change their skill and get them to do something else. I just really like normal dupes, how the fact that they slowly level their skills, but they get better and better at everything the more they use stuff. But nonetheless, I must say it was really fun learning how to keep bionic dupes running with power bank chargers, figuring out how to keep their gear bomb running and all that fun stuff. But this leaves me wondering now is if I can get the carnivore achievement without them. That was kind of how this whole thing started. Can I get the carnivore achievement easily with bionic dupes? Yes. But I've got a couple ideas to maybe try to solve that. Also, the hydrogen situation. What is with that? I'm blaming it on these guys. I'm not 100% sure if that's the case or not. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this whole series. Where I'm going next, I'm not entirely sure, but you'll certainly see with the next video. Until then, thanks for watching. Okay, just a little bonus section here at the end. I did some research and it looks like, yeah, bionic dupes don't use the hot tub. Kind of makes sense. I kind of thought that'd be the case because jumping in water, kind of thought maybe they also wouldn't use the sauna, but they do use the sauna, just not the hot tub. Makes a little bit of sense. There's Muscles showing off the hot tub. It looks like building itself is too hot. Oh, right. I need cooling. Anyways, one other comment with bionic dupes. It actually is kind of nice that there's a reason for using recreational buildings. I generally ignore this. There's also a good reason for getting your base to look nice. Because they don't eat, and because they don't use the Great Hall, I find it a bit harder to get their morale up just looking at their skills. Now that I've done this recreational building, can I add in... Oh yeah, I would say... now I've got the ability to not worry. I haven't maxed out their skills. But anyway, yeah, I just thought I threw that in before I fully complete with our little bionic laboratory.